All right. Hi. Good afternoon. It's really nice to see human beings, which I realize. Today we wanted to just go through reopening, that we're still in yellow phase. We have some new small business assistance to roll out, and then I wanted to make a couple comments about the rally tomorrow that's here in Scranton and the efforts across the country to reform the way we police in this country and to address the efforts to address the systemic racism that we do see in the country. So first, I just wanted to go through the reopening. Still in yellow phase. I know we're all anxious to move to green phase, but we still are in yellow, which means that we still do need to follow the guidelines in the yellow phase set by the governor. That includes groups of no more than 25 gathering. I know people are anxious to have larger parties and the like, but we really still do need to cap those gatherings at 25. We still are not able to have team sports, so I know people are anxious to get back onto the basketball courts, but we're not supposed to be out on those basketball courts. Our basketball hoops are still covered over, and looking forward to green phase when we can take those off. But I will say that as we go through these days and weeks, we are seeing cases rise. I think 20 states have had spikes in their COVID cases. So we really are not through this thing yet. We really, really need to remain vigilant and continue to support each other. You can see that we're all wearing masks here. We're outside, we're distanced, we're up at the steps of City Hall, we're outside where it's less likely that the disease would be transmitted. So we really do need to be cautious. So the yellow phase, yellow means caution. We're definitely still in this, as frustrating as that might be. We do have some resources on our website about reopening, and we wanted to make it a little bit easier to get to those resources. Today we launched a new website called SCRANTONWorks.org. So at SCRANTONWorks.org, it's 3 parts. It's reopening, so it's a little bit quicker for you to get to the reopening resources for your business or your organization. It's about relief for small businesses and organizations, some programs we have there. And then the other piece is jobs. So we've had a virtual job fair on the SCRANTONPA.gov website throughout this last few months. But as we go into kind of this second phase where technically we are in an economic recession. So we are wanting to make sure that we're getting the job opportunities out into the community, that it's just another resource for you to go to show where to go to get job opportunities. Or if you're hiring, are there ways for you to see who's looking for work? So it's reopen, relief, and then jobs. So that's the SCRANTONWorks.org website. It's live now. You can go check it out. It's a little bit more modern than our current website, which we are working on. So we're excited about that. One of the key pieces of the reopening piece is that we have now the Safe Scranton Pledge. So the Safe Scranton Pledge, if you go into SCRANTONWorks.org, click into the Safe Scranton Pledge, you fill out the form there that when opening your business, you will adhere to the CDC and Pennsylvania Department of Health guidelines. You fill that out, submit it to us, and we will get you one of these Safe Scranton Pledge decals for your window. So we're really excited about these. We want to see businesses have these. It shows that just another way that you can show your support of these guidelines and that you're remaining safe. We know that all of our businesses have worked so very hard throughout this entire time to make sure that they're doing everything they can. Here at City Hall, we just sanitized this building yesterday. We couldn't go in. We're all working so hard, but this is another way that you can show your customers and your employees that you're protecting them. The second piece that we're really excited about on the SCRANTONWorks.org website is under business relief. We have the Small Business Relief Program, which is grants and loans. I have Eileen Cipriani, our new Executive Director for OECD here. She'll run through a little bit more of the details of that.
Good morning, and thank you, Mayor. So as the Mayor pointed out, it has been a chief initiative of the Mayor to be able to figure out how to support our business community here in the city of Scranton. So we have 2 opportunities for businesses. The first is a $275,000 grant program. That program will provide 110 grants of $2,500 each to businesses within the city of Scranton. Those businesses need to be established in the city by January 1st, have a revenue of less than $1 million, and be current on all of their taxes, trash, fines, permits, and any other obligations owed to the city of Scranton in order to be eligible. Those grants will be opening on June 17th at 10 a.m. And once a business meets their eligibility criteria, it'll be a first come, first served basis. So that information right now is on the new Scranton Works website, so you'll be able to find it there. Check the guidance out in the meantime between now and next Wednesday when they go live, and you'll have an opportunity to get $2,500 grant for your business here in Scranton. The second opportunity is a loan opportunity that will open after we complete the grants. That is for loans for small businesses between $3,000 and $20,000. The first year of the grant will be interest-free, and there'll be a 6-month deferral on the grant payment. So it's an opportunity for businesses to get relief from the effects of the COVID pandemic in regards to preparing to have their customers and their employees in a safe manner in the business, to buy protective equipment for their businesses and their employees and the new customers that'll be in. It also gives you an opportunity to do payroll, utilities, mortgages, other business expenses that you've incurred during this time. So we're really excited to roll this out. Please check out our new website, and all the details will be listed there. And we have guidance here. We could give a few copies out to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. So we're very excited for this to finally be up and running. It's a great example of how we could get grant money out to those businesses so they can buy some of those materials to help them reopen safely. And all that information is at scrantonworks.org. So we're very excited to roll that out today. I also wanted to talk about the rally tomorrow that's happening here at Courthouse Square. And it's very exciting that we have so many people interested in coming to exercise their First Amendment rights and speak out about the systemic racial injustice that we have in our country. We also are still in a pandemic. So while we hope that folks go out and are able to say what needs to be said, we really, really need people to please wear masks, distance, and make sure that they're understanding that by going out, there is still a pandemic, there's still a safety risk. So please go and take part in this moment. This is a critical moment, I believe, in our nation's history. But we do still need to be vigilant and still need to be safe. So I would like to go tomorrow, but I'm choosing not to go because I need to think about what's happening with COVID. I have a small child at home. I also have my mother who is older. I don't feel comfortable going out into a large crowd of people and then going home to them. So please, if you are going, just be safe, wear that mask, socially distance, and that'll help us be a little bit safer tomorrow. In terms of the content, so it's so important that we are speaking about this. It's important that we are addressing this. So it can't just be talk. Last week, Chief Graziano and I released a response to the 8 Can't Wait campaign. We have elements of all 8 of those policies in our police department already, which is fantastic. But Chief and I were on the phone just this morning. We are on the phone constantly, but today specifically talking about our plan for how we're going to get to some reforms. We already have a series of conversations with different community groups set up. The chief has one tomorrow. There's one coming up in the next couple of weeks. I've reached out to some people in the Black community that I know that I've asked them specifically, can you please give me ideas for what groups we should be meeting with and where. We don't always have to meet at City Hall. We don't have to meet at police department. We can always meet them where they are at their church, their community center, maybe their school. Anywhere, meet them where they are and be able to really have those conversations that need to be had in a productive way. So in addition to that, we're looking at partnering with a local university to maybe figure out what the reform of our police department could look like, implement those, and use it as a model in the region for what needs to happen. So we're already doing very well on these things with the Scranton Police Department. We could always do better. And I think as we get into the budget season, we can look at making sure that our community development, we have Eileen here is now heading up economic and community development. We have a great community development team as well. We really want to dive into our neighborhoods and our kids and work with the school district for those solutions so that our kids feel safe, our kids are cared for, our kids are accounted for in the financial picture. But the school district, the census comes into this, where we need to make sure people are filling out the census so that everyone counts, so we get the money here in Scranton, so for the next 10 years we can better support the programs that we desperately need for our kids. So we'll continue to have these dialogues, we'll continue to look at reforms, and we'll continue to have this be a conversation. It's very, very important that even though I can't be there tomorrow, I really want everyone to know that I support this broader effort. We are still just in COVID, and we really all have to think about our safety and think about the safety of those we go home to. So with that, if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Mayor, you spoke about obviously those 8 initiatives, elements of which have already been embraced by the department. Mm-hmm. What are some other reforms that you guys are looking at, or is that still something that you're developing in concert with those groups in the university?
Yeah, so kind of broadly speaking, we do have a lot of good trainings, but we can always add more training. So not just in the police department, but actually our new HR director is Amber Viola. She's here today. Amber and the police chief and I, we've been talking already about what are the trainings that we need to do broadly across the city, right? What are those bias-based trainings that we should have, not just for the police department, but fire department, it's city administration, code enforcement, DPW, like everyone all over the city needs to have bias-based training and make sure that we're not maybe people don't realize they're doing it, but they're maybe imposing their bias unwittingly on some of our constituents. And so we want to boost up our training on these things throughout the city. In terms of police, there's Chief Graziano is looking at a lot of things across the city, and we'll have more specifics coming up. What we're trying to do now is, again, starting tomorrow with some conversations. Also, actually, this last week, the police chaplain and the neighborhood community police officers had some really amazing conversations out in the community. So before we make any specific new policies, and I say this because we already ban chokeholds, because we already have duty to intervene, because we already have the things that some of these other police departments have immediately put in place because they didn't have them. We thankfully already have those in place. We need to have these conversations and then understand what it is we need to change and then make those changes.
Well, just to follow up on that, I wonder, it means different things to different people, but what do you make of this groundswell, this movement across the country to defund the police? Or I think to some people that means to militarize the police. To some people, I think they might take it as abolish the police. What do you make of that movement? Yeah,
I think that it's a wide-ranging word right now, defund. To me, what it means is rebalancing. To me, the way that I'll approach it is looking at a city budget and rebalancing it so that there's more community development, more neighborhood engagement, more resources. And a lot of cities, the school districts fall under the city. That's not the case here, but we can see the administrative building from here. It's helping the school district as well, making sure that in the city budget, we absolutely need law enforcement. We absolutely need it. How do we lift up and increase the budgets for these community things? How do we address the public health factors that contribute to poverty? How do we, the employment? So we have the new website today talking about jobs. How do we, Eileen was the workforce development deputy secretary of the state for 5 years. How do we get better paying jobs for more people? How do we, increase our public health awareness and programs there? How do we get the kids what they need? How do we get broadband everywhere so every kid can learn at home? All of these things, all this systemic foundational stuff, we need to fix that, lift it up. When I think about rebalancing.
In terms of reopening, I know you guys have just recently gotten yellow. Are you in talks with the governor's office? Are you looking at the cases? Are you seeing a good chance that you guys could go green in 2 weeks?
I don't know when we might go. I'm certainly hoping. I'm hoping that we're able to go green very, very soon. I was in touch with the governor a couple weeks ago, and I asked him. My ask was not a specific date, but when Luzerne County goes, I'm hoping that we go. I think when Luzerne County went yellow but Lackawanna stayed red, that was really difficult. I think psychologically, Luzerne and Lackawanna are very tied together. So I just hope when Luzerne and Lackawanna go, they go together. That was my request for the governor. So we still have to look at the data. I know they're combing through the data and they'll make the determination of when we go green. I just hope that it's uniform between those 2 largest counties in northeastern Pennsylvania.
Now that we've had that zip code data for probably a few weeks now, and you look at the zip code data in Scranton, do you see that things are going down? People are doing what they're supposed to be doing?
I think that people are getting pretty tired of it. So I'm seeing fewer. Well, I see some masks out here, which is good. But I'm getting worried about people wearing fewer masks and having parties and things like that. I think it's been a long 3 months, but every night when I go home and my mom is with the baby watching TV and the map is up about all the cases that are spiking across the country, I get worried about that.